and gentlemen, I am Katie Stone, and this is Stone Second Sense. Now, I've got something a little spicy for you guys, and you're gonna love it. Now, if you recall, earlier this week and late last week, I kind of brought you guys some information on the Frames receiver case and how the ATF, well, they took an L and then they got kind of salty about it. So they asked the Supreme Court to grant them a stay. Now, we covered earlier this week that the Supreme Court did actually grant their stay up until August 4th, and they gave FPC and those challenging in this up until last night at 5 p.m. to respond. And let me tell you, did they respond? Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look. The district court, this is FPC and those challenging, the district court held correctly that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, has exceeded in its authority by seeking to depart from over 50 years of regulatory practice that extended the definitions of firearm or frame or receiver in federal law beyond any reasonable understanding of those terms. The district court also correctly held that vacature is a proper remedy for when a federal agency has been found to exceed its statutory authority, as courts have consistently held since the enactment of the Administrative Procedure Act in 1946. The Fifth Circuit rejected the government's plea to stay the district court's vacature order when respect to the specific regulatory definitions at issue, and this court should do the same. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is pretty straightforward. I mean, listen, the other court, they're like, hey, listen, the Fifth Circuit already rejected this because it's BS. Pretty much. They're like, hey, listen, it goes against everything. They're changing the definition, and that's not how this works. Congress makes laws, not the ATF. So that's where they're going on that one, but don't worry. There's so much more, and I'm going to try and link this in the description box because let me tell you, it's good. You need to read it. But let's continue. The district court was correct to hold that in expanding the definition of firearm in the ways the ATF extended its statutory authority, indeed, by seeking to bring within its preview items to facilitate the making of firearms by private citizens for their own use. Now, the ATF has sought to fundamentally alter the policies choices made by Congress in 1968. Those policies, this is the key part, ladies and gentlemen, those policy choices are for Congress, not ATF, to make. Because the district court properly found the ATF exceeded its statutory authority, the district court was warranted in vacating the offending provisions of ATF regulations. The APA expressly instructed courts to hold unlawful and set aside agency action that, like the ATF rule here, is in excess of statutory authority. If ATF wants to make these laws, which they don't agree with and we don't agree with, then they need to take it to Congress. That's for Congress to decide, not ATF. So if you want this done, take it to Congress, but you could just do without because that's what we want to do. Now, I'm going to follow up with the end here, and there's some pretty good stuff in here. So let me just paraphrase this because I don't know if you want me to read it, but it goes on. I'm going to lock this in the description box below, and you need to read it because let me tell you, it's good stuff. So they go on to say that the government has failed to demonstrate the reason that they need their stay. They said it was for emergency relief and all this nonsense, as I explained to you guys earlier in other videos. And they're like, listen, the ATF is just trying to make it harder for law-abiding citizens to make their own firearms, and practice that has persisted since the earliest colonial days. They're like, listen, this has been going on forever. People have been allowed to do this. It's protected by the Second Amendment. It's our right to do this. And the ATF's just trying to change the rules because, well, they hate guns. And the American people. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? But anyways, they go on to say, because of the reasons listed in this motion, and let me tell you guys, you need to read this, the court should deny the government's motion for a stay. And if the government is thinking that in any way that they should grant this, listen, take it up. We'd love to give you all the information on this. We'd love to have the Supreme Court take it up and, well, let you guys spank the ATF when you start reading facts. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments. I'm pretty excited about it because this is pretty straightforward when it comes to, listen, we're laying out all the reasons why this is unconstitutional, why the ATF is overstepping, and why they need to be put in their place. So take a look at it. They're like, listen, take a look at it, let me know your thoughts, and if you think that they should get their stay, how about we take this to court? And personally, I would love to see the ATF and the Supreme Court and FPC take this to the Supreme Court because, ladies and gentlemen, the ATF's overstepping here. Huge. Now, let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe button, and please have a great day.